It's the Sunday Brunch edition of the Smack Attack. All things SmackDown happened on Friday, didn't it? You know, the same things that happen every week on a show of SmackDown. Tag team matches, repeats of matches, rematches, and Ed showed up. That's a bit of a rare one. But we'll get into it and more as we talk into SmackDown, this week's edition of the Smack Attack. Money James McIver, alongside my partner in crime as always, John Enright. How are we doing, my man? How are we this morning, this afternoon, the middle of the night, whatever one it is when we're doing this for you?
Well, I mean, for some people it's like 5 a.m, so they're probably like, "Fuck you guys! Why are you doing this so early on the West Coast?"
I'm mentally preparing myself for like everyone going, "Why this time? Why?"
Yeah.
It's like I've got a life to live here, man.
Yeah, I know. So in case you guys didn't know, James had girlfriend duties for the next couple weekends, so we might have different schedules there, which is okay. Hey, it happens, Hey, we like certain things about the girls that they give us, so we have to do certain things to keep those things. Are you drinking an Iron Brew right now?
Yes, I am. Yes,
my man.
Gotta do it right,
Yeah, I could tell. I've had one once, and that color is distinctive, very distinctive.
Nectar of the gods, John.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw the Iron Brew, I thought the bottle was orange. I did not realize it was that drink actually that color. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah. So
can you get it? Can you get Iron Brew there in Texas?
I've gotten it before. It came in some of our food pantry items, so I think you can get it in certain places. If I remember correctly, there are a couple of like English, I guess you would call them grocery stores or dispensaries where you can get like products from England, kind of like there's a German place. There's, and of course, Oriental places. There are a lot of those.
We've got things like that for like American stuff as well. We've got like American sweets and cereals
and markets and So we've got, there's like a few British markets. They're not, I think there's some in Fort Worth and over in Dallas and stuff like that. Not a lot. So you could probably get it there. I just haven't really looked, but it came one time with our food pantry order. We got a box of assorted drinks and there was one in there. And I told my partner, I was like, none of the kids are going to drink this. So I'm going to take this and we're going to try it and see what, I said, cause it's supposed to be this great Scottish drink. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm down with this. This is good. I appreciate it.
It's good stuff, right? It's good.
It is. So, but yeah, so I mean, and I was wrestling Friday, not wrestling, but I was at live wrestling Friday. So the main event was EC3 versus JTG for the championship for VIP wrestling, which is awesome. Great show. Ended in shenanigans. Shane Taylor ended up knocking the crap out of JTG, causing a DQ, and just Shane Taylor wants the title. Shane Taylor is just kind of turning into the new belt collector. He's got the 6 mans from ROH. He's got 2 other titles from 2 other promotions here in the area, and now he's coming for the VIP. So, Shane Taylor and we got to meet Shane Taylor this weekend, which was great. Good dude. EC3 met him. Really cool dude. Chase Owens, very cool guy. So, and of course some of the local talent that was there too. So it was all good, just had a good night. My dad came over, so my dad drove over to watch wrestling with me and my son. So, and of course, we were sitting in the way VIP does their deal. They have front row, right? But for $50, you can sit in the VIP section where you're actually inside the barriers. So, I could literally walk up and touch the ring if I wanted to, because you're inside the barrier. Yeah. So like the wrestlers are walking through your seats and everything. And so you're like right there by them. So like if they come out into the, on your side of the ring, they can like people get thrown into like the spectators' chairs and stuff. Like they'll spectators to move and they throw them into the chairs there. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that can happen right there. So like you're right there when the wrestlers are walking by, high fives and stuff like that. So it's real. It makes it a whole different level because you're like right there, And so like when I see, so like a lot of times guys who are friends of mine, they'll make sure they'll walk by to get a high five or whatever from us, stuff like that. So, the matches they had the undercard match. They had a New Japan Strong match of Chris Dickinson versus Barrett Brown.
Nice.
which was great. I mean, such a good match. So Shane Taylor fought Shug D, which is, most people know him as Pineapple Pete from AEW, when Jericho was making fun of him that way. But that ended up being a good match. There was a lot of really good matches on there. So it's on Title Match Network. If you want to check out VIP Wrestling, all their shows are on there. They stream them there, but I think you can go back and look at them. They're not very expensive to watch. If you want to watch some really, really good wrestling, independent wrestling in the state of Texas, VIP Wrestling is a great way to check it out. And you get to see all kinds of unique talents and matchups that you never thought you would see. JTG versus Alexander Hammerstone was the last show we went to, which was a great main event, there. Lou puts on a great show. So I might have to talk to Lou about coming on and, chatting about, his philosophy on booking and going about doing certain things. So, that'll be fun to do. So maybe I'll get Lou on here. I'm working on Jackson. We're going to probably wait till after the holiday. For those who aren't in American, next weekend is 4th of July. So we may take that next week off. James and I haven't decided for sure. For England, it's just another Saturday. But for us, it's, American Independence, where we can go, hey, look what we did to y'all. Fuck you.
America.
America. Yeah. Beer, burgers, and fireworks,
To be fair, sometimes we get in on it as well, because it's a fun time.
It's
a Sunday this year, so fuck it.
Yeah.
We're in that sort of frame of mind. Any excuse. I'm in Glasgow for the weekend, so
it'll
be
there
interesting
you go.
to see what happens.
Yeah.
Sisters, it's my girlfriend's sister's birthday, so we've got like it's like a big, massive pub crawl thing we've got going on.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I know.
Yeah. So
going to a place called the Thundercats, and I was like, "Fucking yes,
what?
Fucking yes, I'm up for this."
Yeah.
That's nothing to snarf at. Like, I'm well chuffed.
If that pub is not like themed out in Thundercat shit, you should burn it to the ground.
I'll be absolutely raging.
I would burn it to the ground. I would be like, no false advertisement. F you. Get this out of here.
I'm not.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. So
it's not snarf.
Yeah.
But yeah. Whoever's who's watched this just now, welcome. Fair play if you're in the other end of the pond from where I am. That's an effort getting up for. That's commitment to the show and a half. If you're up at like 5 a.m. or whatever time it is over your way, that is incredible. Well done. Like for a Sunday, see for a Sunday, like this is why I'm more like I've got so much respect for you and whoever watches this from America today. Because usually for me, Sundays are a write-off till like 12 at the very least. Like I'm not even out of bed until 12 o'clock on a Sunday, unless I'm dragged out, which happens quite a lot. It's like, we're going out. I didn't know about this. Well, you do now. Out.
Which, by the way, guys, it is 12 o'clock for him right now. I'll just say, don't let him fool you. It's not like it's early. It's like it's 12 o'clock for him, where it's like 7 something in the morning for me. So
nearly 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
see,
if
there
I'm
you
not
go.
woken up by now, then there's a problem.
Yeah, there is a problem. So don't let him fool you. He's not up super early. All right. He's been up for a while. So but it's it's fun that that this weekend worked out the way it did, because honestly, like it was fine, because like they gave me opportunity Friday to go to the show. Yesterday, got a whole bunch of stuff done, and then had my girlfriend over and I grilled. I had some bacon wrapped stuffed chicken breasts, put those on the grill, and then I ended up cooking some sausage on the side for the fun of it. That's for later. That's for me. Yeah. That's not for anybody else. Well, for my son, I guess. And then, because I was like, I already have the grill, so I've got some sausage. Let's grill that up. Let's put that out there. And so I ended up making mashed potatoes, made a salad. So I had to go get stuff for salad. So I'm at HEB, which is a local Texas grocery store that's really badass. They've got a bacon vinaigrette that I'm like, they made a salad with it. Because I'm like, okay, I got some stuff for what I think is going to be good salad. And I try that. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I usually dump everything and I follow this recipe they have. It's the vinaigrette, spring, like a 50-50 mix on your lettuce and your, whatever. Then you get some walnuts and cranberries, some feta cheese, and then we had some carrots at home, so we put some carrots in, and then this bacon vinaigrette. Oh my God, it was just on the next level. Then I was thinking, you know what? At the end of the grill, for like the last 5 minutes, I'm going to put some of this vinaigrette on the chicken and let it finish because the chicken's already kind of seasoned and everything. But I was like, I'm gonna throw this vinaigrette on there and make it a little, whatever.
Ooh.
Oh my God, that bacon, because you're already wrapped in bacon, and then you got this bacon vinaigrette was kind of sweet. And so the last 5 minutes I'm smoking. I turned the tip down to kind of just more smoke and let it baste a little bit. And I put that bacon vinaigrette on, and oh my God, it was just like, woo, so good. So
Yo,
good.
dog, I heard you like bacon. So here's some bacon to be put onto your bacon while you're baking. Fuck
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and then, so here's the other thing. HEB also has a bacon jam. All right. And I've had that before. You put that on a burger before it finishes, like really last minute, and you put that on there. I'm telling you, it is way better than just putting bacon on your burger. And it's so good. It just caramelizes and has the bacon chunks in it. Oh my God. I'm telling you, it's not even funny. I've done it without even finishing it. I just put it on the bread and ate the burger that way, and it was good. So that is so good. So did that. We had some rolls, mashed potatoes, salad, chicken, and then one of my friends, they have a snow cone like trailer, and they don't charge for their snow cones, but if you want to give a donation, you can, and then that'll go towards nonprofits in the area, And so, like Friday night, they had the mayor. They did a special thing where they raised money for the CAC, and she said, like, our nonprofit is going to be next, where we'll have a celebrity like snow cone person kind of raising money for our program. And she's like, hey, we want to come out for whenever your kids, for your kids too. And so, like, whenever y'all meet for whatever, we'll have snow cones for you guys. I was like, okay, just let me know. That'd be cool. Nice. And so we were like, because we were talking about stuff like that. So she was there till 7. So we ran there real quick from my house, got there just right before they closed, and got some snow cones and talked to Miss Lindsay for a while. And then we went back and had game night for we played a version of Cards Against Humanity. It's called New Phone Who Dis. And so it's like
it's so good.
It is like PG-13 because her boy's 13 and Jacob's 15, so it's like, yeah, we can't really play Cards Against Humanity, but like,
come on, you can't. Well, I suppose you'd have to like. It's dark. I suppose you're introducing a very dark humor at a younger age.
And I mean, and like like we played New Phone Who's This, and there would be things that were said, and like her son would be like, I don't understand what this is, and it wasn't like overtly sexual, but at the same time too, it was like, he just didn't know what it was. So that's, so various things like that, which was funny, that we played that, and although we were talking about, I saw on TikTok, there's this guy, and he pulled a Cards Against Humanity, the regular black box. He pulled like the black card from there, but apparently they have a Cards Against Humanity Disney edition, right?
Yeah,
and it's a red box. So he pulls the black card from the Cards Against Humanity, and he pulls a white one from Disney, doesn't read them, and he reads the first one and says, the black card said, what is there abundance of in heaven from the Cards Against Humanity box? And the Disney one is Bambi's dead mother.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's like, oh, it hurts. Oh my God!
Right in the gut.
Yeah. It was hilarious. I was like, oh my God. I sent that to like Kara. I sent it to my son. I sent it to like anybody I knew on TikTok. I was like, oh my God, that is so funny. It's hilarious. So yeah. So it was so good. It was so good. So yeah. So that was Saturday night. So then it gives us today to really take a minute to think about it, because I'm going to be honest. I've had a few different viewpoints on SmackDown, and I've wrestled with the various things that happen Friday night. So it's one of those ones where I've been back and forth on this thing, and I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you.
I wasn't a big fan of this show, annoyingly. There's some really kind of potentially really fun stuff that happened. Like, I thought the Jimmy Uso and Dolph Ziggler match was great. I
Mm-hmm.
loved watching that. I thought it was a really fun time, despite Jimmy almost wrecking his back arse in that step spot. We'll talk about that later. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of liked the Nakamura coronation, but more
Mm-hmm.
for Baron Corbin after that. Not so much. I did kind of enjoy what went on, but as it went on, I was like, okay, if this is all we're getting, then okay, whatever. And then the end with Edge coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of those three things, if I missed this show, I would feel like I've not missed anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of for me when I watch, considering what we've been getting out of SmackDown for the past week. Well, I kind of guess we're getting towards this point where the wheels were starting to spin a bit because we had the women's divisions being reduced to rubble. Now that Montez Ford took voluntary surgery, so he's out for a few weeks until he's fully recovered. That's why we did the Alpha Academy didn't even appear on the show, as far as I'm
Right.
aware, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Wish they could have followed up on that.
Yeah.
No Rey Mysterio, no Dominic Mysterio. This is a very thin on the ground roster for a SmackDown show. Almost like you shouldn't have sacked so many people, but hey ho, we'll get to, I suppose we've got a draft coming up post SummerSlam. We're gonna have to cover, but there's a long way to get to SummerSlam. We're only still in June. Like Money in the Bank's 3-4 weeks away, so we've got to get through that. And SummerSlam's supposed to happen, so it's not an easy time for SmackDown, especially when you think about what's been going on in the landscape of things, and a lot of things have been put on hold for a few weeks. Should we kind of dive into them? Should we get stuck in and talk about what happened on SmackDown? Where's my notes on the results of SmackDown?
Yeah, I've got some notes too. Yeah, so if you need to, I did actually take notes though this time. So trying to do my part. So of course, it started off with Roman and Jimmy, and Jimmy saying that Jay wasn't going to be coming back, and Roman was like, "What? I turned him into a main eventer, and he's going to throw it all away." So just very interesting. And then Jimmy's like, I could be what he was, the right hand essentially, and he's like, prove it. Which was interesting. I'm gonna be honest, this turn is a little weird for me to see what happened here and how all of a sudden Jimmy's all on board. It's kind of a sharp 180. I would have preferred if it would have meandered a little more. Maybe there would have been the threat of a match or an argument, something along those lines.
There's not even been a hint of a match. That's well. There's not even hinted at doing a match.
No, and I mean that's the whole thing. And then the whole Jay thing just turning, not showing up anymore. I wanted more of that struggle. I think they cut the struggle too short. I think it needed to be a little bit longer, to tell that intrigue. That was the intriguing part of the story, was the struggle for Jay between his cousin and his brother. It's like, this is my cousin, but this is my brother. Like they're both family, but
if I'm honest, I was a bit disappointed that they didn't go with Jay for Hell in a Cell. Jimmy for Hell in a Cell. It seemed to be quite a poignant way to be, have a match with Jimmy and have Jay on the other side, and maybe finish it the same way, but with Jay getting choked out rather than Jimmy. Right. I think you could have done something like that. It would have been great. But as you say, it just leaves it a bit there. I suppose we're moving on to bigger things as SmackDown, as the show suggests. But for this, we could have got so much more out of this. We could have got weeks of TV out of this.
It really could have. And unfortunately, this is the bad thing about WWE. Sometimes they cut things a little too short. They don't let it grow or breathe. They don't let things go longer than they should, and that's the hard part. I mean, but that's. Here's the thing as a storyteller, too. That's hard. How long is too long? Sometimes you don't want things to go too long, but you don't want things to be cut short. Where's that balance? You gotta have that feeling. And I do know, because I've listened to Bruce Pritchard's Something to Wrestle With podcast, and Bruce has said that Vince doesn't understand brothers fighting. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He's like, why would brothers do it? He goes like, brothers don't fight. And
fight all the time.
And Bruce is like, the hell they do. Like, Bruce is having to argue that brothers fight all the time. Vince doesn't get it. And so, and I know that there's been times where he said, not obviously not now because he's WWE, back in the WWE graces, but before he talked about how Vince didn't understand it, and Vince would cut these things short because he just didn't get it. It didn't make sense to him. Because once again, at the end of the day, no matter the writers and whoever's in charge of Raw or SmackDown, Vince McMahon is the man who they're trying to please. It's an audience of one,
Yeah.
And so therefore it becomes one of these things where Vince doesn't get it. He's killing it, look at various characters and people that have been cut or, things along those lines. We just had, another round of cuts this past, yesterday, wasn't it?
Friday, yeah. It was
or Friday.
It was Thursday, Friday, just before SmackDown went on the
air.
So,
which
savage.
Did you see, like, for example, Killian Dane? He posted that he was at the Performance Center working out, getting extra.
He was in the ring. He was in the ring training at the time, and then he got the phone call.
Yeah,
they do not give a fuck.
No,
and apparently Nick Khan's taking the heat for it. No bother. He's like, cool with me. I'll take all the blame for saving. He's clearing house on an almost 2-weekly basis now. Tyler Breeze, Fandango went. Killian Dane was a shocker for me. I wasn't totally shocked, but I was a bit gutted for him at the same time. I thought they could have done so much more with him. You've got NXT UK, him being Big Damo and having his history in the UK independent scene. It would have been a brilliant place for him. You could have made him champ. You could have had him beat Walter, and it would have been huge for him. But they wasted him. And so here's your record for sanity, by the way. All of them, bar Nikki Cross, have been sacked, and Nikki Cross is now doing a superhero gimmick in Raw, and I'm not a big fan of it. If anyone can spin this around and make it positive, it'll probably be Nikki Cross, and fair fucks to her. I'll be proud of her if she does. But I cannot, and I said the same about Viper when she got put up to, what's her name? Piper Niven.
Doudrop.
When she Doudrop, I can fully believe that Nikki Cross and Piper Niven, or Viper as I like their independent scene, and I can fully put all my faith in both of them to put everything they've got into that and make the best of it as much as possible and do a really good job. My problem is I have zero faith in the creative teams to give them a good go or to not do anything other than just make them look stupid. And it's fucking ridiculous. That's my problem with it. It's not so much the intonations of character, it's just the fact that they're doing stupid shit and they know they can. And then because they're really willing and able and they've got the ability, and also who doesn't want to work on the main roster, they'll do this and they'll do it because they have to in a way. And it's a bit unfair on them. But if they pull it off, like we saw with Mighty Molly, that's what I was kind of hoping I get with Nikki Cross, is that a sort of modern day. I'd absolutely love it, right? If out of nowhere she did a segment with Mighty Molly, like, okay, let's try something now. Let's do, or just be like level with it. You know what I mean? You don't have to have her as a superhero, because there's like people who do stuff like this and be like I'm dressed as a superhero, and it's because of like it's like Fathers for Justice. I'm dressed as a superhero, but I'm here to campaign for dads to see their kids, or superhero because I'm campaigning. Like if you put a spin on it and make it seem kind of real, I think people would like it, but they'll probably go through the comic book side.
So from what I saw, she posted about it that it's a butterfly gimmick because she wants people to grow and change and make it different. It's so her explanation of it was cool, but of course that was a post, not on TV. So it doesn't make sense because it wasn't on TV. So her explanation is kind of more like, oh, that's cool, but I wish they would have said something on TV about it so that it becomes clear. So it doesn't look like just her in a goofy outfit,
Well, this is it. It's like Nikki Cross will buy into this character and what she needs to do. But the creative team won't buy into Nikki Cross buying into the character. And you need all of it to happen. You can't just have your wrestler buying it. And as you say, doing all the work on social media and getting all the lore and the explanations out, you need to help her out and get that out there on TV, as you're saying, and give her a good storyline. Like, put her up against, like, could you imagine her against Carmella right now? That'd be good.
That'd be good.
It'd be pretty good, And maybe we'll get it with the draft, because Carmella's doing this whole like ego thing, trying to be the most beautiful woman in WWE, and you can have Nikki Cross being like, "Hey, it's not all about you. You don't have to be like this. You could be this, and you do this." Like, I don't know. I'm not the writer there. It turns out it doesn't really matter. You have to know anything about WWE to be right. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, and it's probably not going to matter because she's not there anymore. She got sacked on the day of all these mass sackings as well. Funny that. When she came out in an interview, it was an Asian Not Asian podcast, and she was talking about how she got hired, but they didn't expect her to have any knowledge of anyone. To the point where she described Bobby Lashley as a big black guy who's taking over the world. It's like,
Bobby Ashley.
Bobby Lashley. Yeah, Bobby Ashley.
Ashley or like Bobby Ashley or Bobby, I don't know, but he's a big black guy. And and then of course that's not the one that Ray wanted fired, which is the chick who was like all dick is trash. And
is this a different one that got fired?
Yeah, this is a different one. It's not the same one. So,
but like but that one was unforgivable. It's like, okay, Bobby Lashley, if you don't get me wrong, if you don't know wrestling, you get added on this, that's fine. But Bobby Lashley's a legit MMA competitor, a wrestler, and he's been all over the shop, and you don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Or at least do the minimal homework and know that he's the top champion. It doesn't take a genius. The way they write wrestling right now, you could read up on what's happened over the past 3 years in about 5 minutes, and you'd be caught up. It's so egregious as well that like I don't know if it's ego or if it's just sheer audacity as well that she kind of turns around and goes, didn't even know that we had to do anything. We could just put it out there. Right. You can go in a public forum and talk about this. This is not like that's beyond. Ben talks about protecting the business so much on a regular basis. It's not even just about protecting the business of wrestling. This is just protecting your fucking company's business as a whole.
Right.
That you're telling people, look, I'm not qualified for the job. They don't care. It's like if I went to my work, if I went and talked about my job and said, look, I know hee-haw about glasses or phones or watches. I don't know a thing. They just brought me in because whatever. I get sacked because I'm just making it sound like I don't know what I'm doing. Like you got to that's a bad example because you do get trained. But like for that, we're expecting you to be qualified, knowledgeable, understand the product, understand the talent, and you just come here and say, I don't know anything. I write for them and I don't. Because as you say, if that's not the same woman who came on that Ray's been hunting, she's been there for a while. And that's terrifying. That's terrifying. Like when you're a roster member and you hear that, it's like, I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucked. No one's going to protect me. No one's going to protect my character. No one's going to really invest time in that because they don't know. They'll get put on like one person. That's all they'll know. Oh, John Cena's back. I want to work with him. It's great. They're going to work with him. And it's poor.
Oh my God! It's the Bella guy. It's the Bella guy. They're gonna know him as the Bella guy, and he's he's back with. Are we going to do another? Maybe we can bring Nikki back, and we can do something with. Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
And here's me, here's me just being like, hire me, I'll do it. I'd slang your show on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
but I won't. But as soon as you hire me, I'll put my fucking back into it. Like sometimes it sounds weird, right? And it seems like such an internet fan sort of thing to say. But you know what? If you actually just look at your fans and see which ones are qualified writers or people who study TV, anything like that, there's a lot of them. Hire them. Save yourself some effort. Make it harder than you need to by hiring Saturday Night Live writers and people like that. Freddie Prinze Jr. is probably the only one there that's really a fan. And that's if he's still there. I think he's heave hoed.
Oh no, he's been gone for a while.
He's gone for a while. That was a big loss for them.
It really was.
But yeah, but that is what it is. But it was just poor. She did it to herself. Sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut and not talk about those sort of things.
Yeah, but I mean, and here's the thing, so we just got done talking about the first segment of Roman Reigns, which we know Paul Heyman's mostly been handling that. And so, but at what point does, Paul has to answer to people too, and so as much as we were like, oh, how great this was with Paul Heyman in writing, at the end of the day, Paul has to answer to somebody, and so we see that that's just the case here is, at the end of the day, these writers, no matter what, they're having to answer to one person and one person only. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good question.
Welcome to the chat. Nobody worth to remember. That is, What are the qualifications get in here? Like, you look into that and say you need a Harvard degree, but then you actually see some of the writing, you're like, fucking, you don't even need a primary school diploma.
Yeah, I know, right?
Unbelievable.
Apparently,
Bruce Pritchard's back in charge of SmackDown, according to Russo. He's on
really?
his, he was saying quite a lot of stuff. Apparently, Bruce Pritchard's back in charge, and John Cena's back on July 16th. Bold prediction right there, but I'll listen to it. I'll listen if it happens. I'm like, right, I'm on Realm Network subscription.
Right.
Got it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because you're going to have live crowds.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. Which is once again, I think why the end of this show happened. Unfortunately, the whole purpose of the end of this show was to set up for, getting back to live crowds.
Yeah.
And so, from everything I've seen, listening to the Something to Wrestle With podcast, Bruce has been in charge of both Raw and SmackDown. So he's basically back to being the right-hand man for everything. But the whole purpose, the whole idea, the whole everything of this is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's in charge because Vince is in charge. He's the one that they're writing for and says this works or not. And so, which, we've talked a lot about the writing and everything. And then we have this next segment. So we have the backstage talking, which has become the new thing to start the show. And then now we have Bianca coming out to talk about her defense at Hell in a Cell. And she called Bayley a bully and, blah, blah, blah. And then Rollins comes out saying, she barely won. Which was interesting, Rollins, like, I know all of a sudden him and Bayley are like, pals, but like this, like it was hard for me to understand the purpose for him to come out here to talk to her and do this. And I mean, we find out it's because they have a match. It was an intergender tag team match with Cesaro and Bianca versus Rollins and Bayley.
Yeah.
And he was like
crowbarred in.
Yeah.
High five and shit like that.
Yeah. It felt very forced.
We both won.
Yeah. It was like, oh, hey, we won. It was like, okay, but my win was way more impressive, and then Bayley came out and called her win a fluke, and then Bianca takes her earrings off, and then Cesaro comes out, and then the match happens.
It was a match. I was a bit flat on this. What we'll say about the promo at the beginning, like it was a quite kind of. I do enjoy like Rollins and Bayley's sort of camaraderie together and how they bounce off each other really well. And when Cesaro came out, I really wanted them to swing Bayley.
Yeah.
I thought they're very strict about like men not touching women and women not touching the men. But I was like, that is like a crowd popper. Maybe they're waiting for the crowd to be there, but like that's a moment where Bayley's standing there. It's like, just do it, just grab her, swing her. It's not going to do any harm. It's just going to make her dizzy.
Right.
It's not the worst in the world. Do it, it'd be brilliant. And then it just cut. Yeah, and I was like, and we're going to go back to match.
They had that opportunity beforehand, before the match gets started, because Bayley throws Bianca out of the ring, Cesaro throws her, and so they are now face to face. It was one of those things where you think something's about to happen because Bayley starts getting into Cesaro's face saying, "It's all your fault. You ruined my show. You broke the day. You took his pants off." She's like, starts yelling. And so you're thinking at that point, she's either going to smack Cesaro like in the face and then he's going to take her down. Or he's just, something's going to happen where he'll just double leg her and swing her. And so that's what I was anticipating.
I was hoping. I was really excited. I was like, "Oh my god, this is good."
Yeah,
but they're going to do it.
But then it was, something happens where he grabs Bianca, she spins around and kicks Bayley, and out she goes. And then
he dad danced.
Yeah, and then they were dancing, and then
Rare miss from Cesaro. Don't dance, please.
Well, yeah,
thank you.
It was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. But so then they start their match, and then like you said, it was a match. It was, nothing's gonna happen where one person's gonna, a guy's going to put their hands on a girl and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, you had this goofy ending where, Rollins is running from Cesaro while the girls are in, and they got Bianca in there for the KOD, and he's like, I'm going to run across the ring to get away. And, oops, I accidentally bumped Bianca. And then, so then Bailey is able to, get,
Rose plant.
And then kick and then do the rose plant. And then, they win that way. And it's like, and then Seth is on the other side going like, yeah, look what I did. And it's like, okay.
This got me worried for the rest of the show, if I'm honest. Like, they're all good workers. It's like good enough, but we've seen this. We've seen it. We've seen every possible combination of this match happen. And these were matches that were what we thought were going to be blow-off matches at Hell in a Cell, and they're continuing. To me, that I was like, great, we've got no roster. It was the first. I feel bad for saying it, but that was the genuine first thought I had. Is like, great, we've got no roster tonight because I know exactly the Jimmy Uso match that's been booked for later on in the night. Big E and Apollo Crews is a qualifying match. Again, we've seen that a million times by this point. We've seen it on pay-per-views. We've seen it on weekly TV. Carmella and Liv Morgan, another rematch. It was just like, man, like some of this was like, if you watched it last week, you knew what happened, or you can watch it last week and then watch it. You could kind of make up your mind of what happened, apart from one or two things. But that to me started it off for me. I was like, okay, slightly worried, but we'll see what we get. We'll see what we can get from this. We can push.
And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these matches I felt like could have been last week's matches, which could have been the lead into the Hell in a Cell match. I mean, to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Like, it feels like they're doing that. Which, now, don't get me wrong. For a lead-in, last week's show was pretty good, But a lot of these felt like these should have been the go-home matches, for that. So, I don't know. Like, I really struggle with this show, especially the first beginning halves of these things. Yeah. I was just like, okay, I'm not seeing a bunch of good stuff back here, and this is where I'm like, okay, like, do they think we're idiots at this point? Because then they go to this backstage where Jimmy's asking Paul Heyman what Roman meant by prove it. And Heyman said, win a match. And he said, I'll do it. And Paul sets it up. It's like, really? You needed to go to Paul Heyman and say, what did Roman mean? Yeah. What did that mean by prove it? Like, duh, you're going to get into a match and win. And you're going to stand beside him.
That, though. There was a nice little touch where it was like, well, what happens if I lose?
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah.
Don't expect it to be good anyway.
Yeah.
This is where we were going on this show.
Yeah. But like at the same time too, it's kind of like, really, we needed that? Is that something we needed? And so, and then I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to feel about this. The Shinsuke Nakamura, his coronation,
Yeah. It
was
went on. It kind of, it just sort of like, we got the same as what we got last week almost. Difference being that it happened in the ring. Boogs, I liked Boogs at the beginning. Boogs at the beginning. I liked him and the sort of stuff. Hear ye and all that sort of stuff, and add a bit of metal to it. I was enjoying that. But then the ceremony was literally Nakamura doing his entrance, sitting down. You are the. He actually said, "You are the king," and then he got back up and did his entrance again.
Yeah,
played the guitar a bit more. But the bit I really liked about it, and I will give him his due. I think a lot of people were not a big fan of Baron Corbin for a lot of things, but I think you've got to give him his due this week, because I watched this and I also watched, for the life of me, I don't know why, I don't usually watch Talking Smack, but I actually watched that, and then the clip he did for Talking Smack, I was like, oh my god, this guy is. We found something for him.
Even in the show. Yeah, even in the show where they cut to him watching in the back, and Kayla's like, Baron Corbin, he's like, I lost my crown, I lost, my investments, and I've lost my life savings. He's like, what's the point? And I mean, and he had a genuine hurt, like that was
despondent.
Yeah, just really. I did love Pat McAfee chugging drinks or whatever.
Yeah, he's like the Austin thing with
do the Austin thing with all this. Yeah! That kind of it kind of made the segment a little bit more better, It did go a little long. I felt it could have been maybe 2 minutes shorter, but I did like McAfee just be in a mood, and then I did like Boogs calling him Kingsei
That was a nice
Nakamura.
Kingsuke Nakamura. Kingsuke Nakamura. Touch.
Yeah.
Chef
I
kiss.
can't say it. I can't, but he said it very well. It's like Kingsuke Nakamura.
Kingsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
I can't go as high as him, but he's got a habit of going really high when he says Nakamura.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got Pat McAfee just standing up and drinking. Michael Cole, you can just see his
he's losing his shit. It's like, yes.
And he's like Austin again, and standing up and doing the whole thing. Oh man. So I mean, there were some good moments on this. I'm not gonna say I hated it, but at the same time too, it's one of those things of this is again the balance. How do you cut it off? Because it was going a little bit too long. They could have cut to Corbin a little bit earlier, I think.
Yeah,
because that did make a difference. That made a difference having that.
I don't think you needed Caleb Braxton here either. I think you just need him there. You just need him there. I mean, he done quite well on his own merit. Like I don't think you need to make it a bit obvious because they did the online thing after it, and she asked him like, you had a lot of investments, so how much money we lost? And he's like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I was like,
yeah,
and I was just like, and it was just like, this is really good stuff. I'm quite interested to see what Baron Corbin does now because of this. Maybe it makes him a bit more serious as well. Maybe get a better character out of them. Like nobody worth remember has made a good point. Baron Corbin is to an extent a pretty good wrestler. He does a lot of big man stuff really well. He's done a lot better than what he used to do. And I think we talked about it last week, where it's not so much him being a dislikable person because of how he does now. It's like he's got a bit more legs to him now than what he used to.
Right.
We'll get a bit more of a bit different character, a bit more intense. I'd like to see him get back to that sort of lone wolf thing, as someone had mentioned. I don't know where I saw that, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that come back, and maybe not so much because that was a bit rough around the edges. But there's a lot you could do with a guy like him. If you can really work it, we might see him go on a title push for the Intercontinental title picture is a good place for him. I think now that he's a bit more serious, and we need to tidy things up a bit there anyway. So I think he would do great being about there. And you can maybe make him a bit more. You've got Commander Aziz not doing very much. Can you imagine Baron Corbin taking care of business with Commander Aziz?
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Pretty fun. Yeah, I'd be
good
up for that. Yeah.
Yeah, big man versus big man. I think that's will be a good match. That's the thing about Baron Corbin. He is good. I mean, he's grown a lot. He's had OTJ. He's had on the job training. He came in from NXT, was kind of whatever, and then but he's grown this whole. He's one of those ones that at NXT you can say they're like, okay, they brought him up, you don't know why, and then he's made the most of his time on the roster. He's figured out how to do things, how to grow, how to be a better wrestler. The guy's, he's talented now. I mean, you can't deny him. You can't deny him. You can't say that no, he's not been better. And if you listen to Meltzer for your opinions on wrestlers, then you're the same person who watches the news to get your opinion on the world. The new, they're just trying to, they have their own opinion on what they want to do, and you don't pick your head up and look around and go, okay, what's the actual story here? What's really going on? And so then your opinion isn't valid because you're not looking. You're just regurgitating what someone's trying to tell you. So personally,
Meltzer is just a guy that's just trying to get clicks in now as well.
Yeah, he wants subscriptions to make money on his newsletter. That's the whole point. He wants to say things controversially so that people will buy his newsletter, and he looks like he's an insider. So that's his job. That's his job, is to do that. Is to write things that intrigue people to make them want to buy his newsletter. That's his whole purpose. He's not an expert. He's just a writer telling something that people want to hear or don't want to hear. And so, and he has his biases. That's the thing. It's not like he's an objective writer. He has an opinion. He's an editorial person on his own. And so it's the whole purpose to sell magazines or newsletters, which he wants. So but it's again, Corbin, I think, has an opportunity to really do some things here moving forward that could be really, really good if And I mean, he seems like the guy who will protect himself and come up with stuff and do things, and then when he's given those things, he will embrace it. Like this King, bit was, it could be the death of you. We've seen guys take this and be like, oh, this is stupid, and not own it. And it kills
look
them.
how long it took Sheamus to recover from it.
Yeah.
It took him ages.
But yet, Corbin ran with it and made it great. He really did. Hey, you're welcome, man. That's what we're here for. This is the show about the people. So we're glad to reply to you. And you're bringing great points too. So that's the other thing. You were going to reply when you bring great.
Pure content.
Yeah.
How about Roman? We'll get to him. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
We've got plenty to talk about Roman Reigns, so we'll get into that. So shall we push on then to where we are in the show now? Where are we? Have you got your
so we go to the backstage. So after Shinsuke, we go to Rollins, and he wants a match against Rollins for the Universal title. And they said they're going to think it through. So, which is interesting, Rollins saying he wants to go after Roman. We had to figure this was going to eventually come at some point, right? And so then after that, we have the Money in the Bank qualifier match of Big E versus Apollo Crews, because we haven't seen this enough already for the Intercontinental title. So let's go ahead and do it as a Money in the Bank qualifying match.
And you can guess who wins.
Right.
I'll give them their due in one spot or one or two spots, and then we can push on because we know what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
German suplexes for Apollo Crews was pretty fucking class. He did the 3 earlier. I thought I'm not too sure about it. It was a bit sobby. But then he did one where he just picked up Big E and he held him there for a few seconds, and he's in the air.
Yes.
So the next bit's just pure strength. Where he just goes right over and dunks him and says like, Big E's not a small guy, and he's just holding him and just using the kind of leverage of his back just to go and lean back over for that. It looked great. It looked absolutely incredible. Oh, my cameras went there. Can you still hear me though?
I can hear you. That's
all right. Give me a wee moment here. I'll
please
fix myself. But yeah, he did this big suplex. And I know. Technical difficulties for the win.
Yeah.
Ooh, boom.
There you go. You didn't go back to the way it was last week. So I'm just saying.
I know. I'm gonna have to get like a webcam or something, just so save myself some problems.
Yeah.
But it was a brilliant feat of strength. It looked outstanding, and it made a good match. But then the other part of the match I was just wanting to talk about was Commander Z's getting kicked out. He looked so much for being such a big imposing force when the referee's like, "You're out of here!"
Yeah,
and he's like,
goes for the Nigerian nail. Big E's outside. He goes. I couldn't tell. Did the ref grab? Did the ref grab his thumb? He grabbed it. Because from what I saw, I couldn't tell if he grabbed his thumb or he grabbed his arm or whatever. It looked like he grabbed his.
He
thumb
just sort of hooked him around the wrist there. He was like,
okay, that's what it was. And it says,
"Okay, you care, ref. If he does that, Big E wins. It's not a problem."
So it's like, all right, fine, okay, you're out of here. Which is what we've been. People have been clamoring for a while to get him out of there. And then of course the end of the match is, obviously they're going to go to the well as many times as they feel they need to, because we've seen Big E wrestle Apollo 15 bajillion times.
Dry.
And of course they didn't give Cesaro enough time with Roman. They had the one match and he hadn't come back. Again, it's just one of those. They do this with Cesaro all the time, and you're getting Rollins getting ready to go against Roman, which okay, we really haven't seen a lot of that, so maybe that's something we could do, or at least they're setting the stage for that. What you think is they're setting the stage for, but it's Big E wins to go join the Money in the Bank, because you're not going to have your Intercontinental Champion go for Money in the Bank. He's already got a title.
Well, you've seen it. We've seen it before. We have seen it before, but it's you need to fill up that card with other matches rather than just that. Who the fuck does Apollo Crews go up against for Money in the Bank then if he's not defended his if he's not going to be in that match?
Right.
If he's not,
you got 3 weeks.
He's not going to pay for a while.
You've got 3 weeks to either do the Friday Night SmackDown, have him lose the title there, or you've got 3 weeks at Money in the Bank for him to do that, where
Yeah.
they have an opponent to build up to fight at Money in the Bank. So you could see Corbin. Corbin would be a great neutralizer for Aziz, and then still give, I think, a really good match to Apollo Crews.
Himself.
We could see. We know next week KO and Sami Zayn are fighting for a Money in the Bank qualifying match.
In a last man standing match, no less.
Yeah, I mean, as if we haven't seen that. Once again, No Duddy, this is another one. They've gone to the well over and over again with Sami Zayn. I mean, we just had what should have been a blow-off match at Hell in a Cell, and yet we're having another match, which I kind of felt Sami. I mean, I know I'm jumping the gun here on this when they cut to him. He's like, "Are you having against me? You have against me? You trying to screw me?" I'm like, I kind of agree with you at this point because you've seen Kevin and Sami so much. Which I think that's the next thing. Actually, we were talking is the next segment is about how they're conspiring against him because they have Kevin Owens fighting him next week in a qualifying match, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's I don't disagree with you at this point. And then he's like, Sami's like, give me the Money in the Bank contract right now. And then Pierce made it a last standing match, between him and KO. But if Sami would have only kept his mouth shut,
it would have been all good. All good, baby.
Yeah.
See, and like that was there's only one person so far that got into the Money in the Bank on merit of winning Money in the Bank so far. Is that the next segment? Is that the next one after this one? Carmella.
It's Carmella. Yeah. So then Sonya Deville comes out and the first Money in the Bank ladder match entered from the Brew brand is Carmella, and Liv came out and mocked Carmella before attacking her, and Sonya broke it up and told Liv to earn a spot by beating Carmella. So Carmella, they were just going to
ruthless aggression moment.
Yeah. Which is Carmella's doing this, look at you, look at me, bit, and then Liv smacks her in the face, and then it's funny because then Sonya Deville has to break it up, right? So between the two and says, wrestle for it, and so Sonya Deville, she takes I guess she got a screenshot of that moment where she's standing between the two blondes, essentially, and she's like, caption this, and like I'm thinking like I want to put I'm thinking going, okay, when the two hot drunk blondes both want you, what do you do? Kind of thing, or something along those lines.
Totally.
And so it's like, all right,
I got those vibes.
Yeah, in that picture. So, and I mean, I get it, but this is where once again, I kind of miss Sonya Deville as a competitor. I mean, she could shore up this women's roster a little bit more. She was good. She was talented in what she could do. I agree. Mella is not money anymore. Well, the gimmick right now, she hasn't technically restarted. It is more a mixture of her old gimmick with this newer, like bougie gimmick. Like it's a mixture of the Mella is money. And
they're pulling her back a bit now. They're pulling her back to it because she did have like a total unique thing with the boozy thing,
right?
And now, we just disappeared for a second. Oh well, but like we had like this bougie thing, and then all of a sudden they're slowly putting in like some of the looks and the costumes and the other stuff that were part of our fabulous run,
right?
And it seems a bit like, come on, man, what you doing to us? Like, what you doing to her? What is she like? I don't want her to revert back to type. Is my worry, because if it does go that way, then we've wasted time with her, and she could have been so much more. And maybe that's why they're trying to do the whole most beautiful women in WWE thing, just to try and give her something. But it doesn't necessarily need to do. I don't think you had to try hard with her. And I've always made this point with when she first debuted. You didn't even have to have her talk. Like, this was my issue when she came back, is you don't have to have her talk. You don't have to do any of this thing or normal stuff. You have her come out and be bougie as fuck. You make her take care of business and just saunter away, swag off, just show a bit of that sort of swagger and ego
Mhm.
and personality, because she's got the look for it. She
Mhm.
could definitely pull it off, but they're quite content with just putting it. It's like putting a coat of paint on her and expecting that to be the complete difference maker. He's like, no, you got to do a bit more tinkering. You got to do the fine tuning. Like, if I'm sitting there, if I'm in the director's chair working with her, like, right, I need you to kind of move. I don't want you to talk. I don't want you doing these manners as you do in the ring. I want you to be sort of like suave. I want you to be like, what's that word I'm looking for? I don't know what it is. I'm not up on ladies' style terms, but stylish, looking good, looking smooth, not taking any piss, not raising yourself to other people. You know, they're below you, they're beneath you. Just sort of act like that. You know, act like you're the top of the heap, and just kind of, and then you got that thing where it's like the most beautiful women in WWE. If you wanted to do that, you know, just rather than have her talk, just point to that ring announcer and go, or something like that, and then he announces it. You know, have her just have that way with her, and she could have been champ. She could have been champ with that gimmick.
Yeah,
and maybe I'm going over the top there, but you know what? Those little things of a character is like heat magnets. It's people that you will get the sex appeal from her, but then this attitude and everything she does will get heat from the crowd and they'll boo her. And when you have a baby face like a Bianca Belair or a Liv Morgan in this instance, they could win that title off her and they'll get mega bucks off them for a while because of who they are and what they do, but they won't put that work in. They're too lazy for that.
No, and that's the sad part. No, I mean, like, and then they had this match. It was a match. I mean, there's nothing. There was nothing that stood out about it. Then Liv Morgan gets a roll up for a win after coming off the top rope and getting. This is the one thing. She took a move off the top rope, but then rolls into a roll up. You know, and it goes back to like Ben says, what's the psychology here? What's the purpose? Why are we doing? You know, what are we doing here? And you know, she gets a second win in a row in the last 2 weeks, so she's 2-1, I think, over Carmella right now. Because I think 3 or 4 weeks ago she had Ruby Riott with her, and then the next week the week after it was like Ruby had gotten sacked.
You can tell you can kind of tell they're backing her a bit though, because they have to. But you can tell they're getting behind Liv a little bit, which is nice. Weirdly, they haven't announced her for Money in the Bank.
Well, no, she is now because she won this match. That was the whole point. Yeah,
but she wasn't part of. She's not on the official lineup yet, as far as I know.
Well, that was the whole point of this, was that, you know, Sonya Deville, you know, when they were fighting, says
prove yourself to be worthy of the match
and earn a spot by beating Carmella. So
to be fair, if she's not being announced now, she will be soon because there's no one else on that roster.
Right.
SmackDown that can be there. And you got a little clip of Natalya and Tamina there as well.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
They didn't have a match this week. Funny that they won the titles and they've hardly had any matches since.
Well,
about 2 weeks worth, and then that was it.
Yeah, they've been having singles matches or showing up on Raw doing stuff there, but not with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. But, you know, like, I think they had this week, it was a pre-tape where they're in this ring or whatever, and then Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke like kick them before they get into the ring or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. This is the one I think. I understand the idea of the women's tag titles and you can go wherever, but this is where it hurts, especially on a place like SmackDown where you could use some more female roster people. You've taken two and essentially just kind of, once again, put them on Raw and just kind of, you know, are focusing on Raw with that. And then you're hurting SmackDown in the process.
Yeah. Weirdly, I do think the women's tag titles would be better on SmackDown if we could get the division up and running on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like the show that's made for this sort of thing and the types of talents that you get in. So you could kind of focus a bit more on the wrestling and give a bit more of a platform to you. Because you've only got 2 hours on SmackDown, but it's whoa, what was that? You've only got like 2 hours on SmackDown, but it's clear to see that there's a bit more of a platform for talent. Granted, there isn't as much talent there, but at least you get a bit more time, even if it is like 10 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've got 3 hours of TV on Raw, and they'll rush through a match in 5 minutes, and you're wondering what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas SmackDown, you've got a handful of talents. Now, granted, I'm not a big fan of repeating the matches that we got this week, but at least most of them got time. The ones that we had on hand had a decent amount of time to put themselves out there, get a promo out there, do some work in the ring. They get a bit of showcasing, and they mean more when it comes to big events like your pay-per-views and what have you. Roman Reigns are a bigger deal because he's getting good character time on TV. Jimmy's getting some good matches now to build up his credentials, build up his profile a bit more as he's starting to get into this storyline. So they've got more opportunity here. I think the the women's tag titles got better represented when they were having matches on SmackDown as opposed to Raw. They got a bit more time and investment into that there, and it could be just the team they've got involved or the mentality. But Raw I don't know. I've not really watched much of Raw, but the vibe I get from Raw is you get a lot of wasted time on things that don't need to be there, or things that could do better. And they could do a lot of things better or not. But,
Well, I mean, they think they have that buffer, the extra hour versus SmackDown. You got to make it tighter. But let's be honest, there's times too where they waste time on SmackDown sometimes, and it's one of those things of going, okay, well, I don't need this. We could be doing something else. But like you said, with matches, we go into our next match of Jimmy versus Dolph Ziggler. Makes me wonder if Bobby Roode is out, if he's hurt. Because
he just sat outside for a lot of this.
Yeah, and so because I didn't see. Did Bobby Roode come out? I didn't even see him.
He took a big old table, took a big old spot over the table, like
okay, that's right.
Over the table with like Pat and Michael Cole at the one point. So he was there. He was there. But you wouldn't really notice him for much because he is quite a quiet specter, and he was wearing all black t-shirt.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I was. But I mean, I didn't really see him throughout the match, and so until that spot, you're right. But I mean, that's the thing. He wasn't. The focus wasn't there because the whole point was there to the Dirty Dogs, and you'd figure he'd be more involved.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, and so we had this match. Jimmy versus Dolph.
I'll tell you what. Like, I'm not too hot on Dolph Ziggler most times now. He doesn't really do much for me. But man, if you need a salesman in your company, boy can sell, and he does so good for Jimmy in this match. It was a good back and forth, I thought. Sorry, I cut you off, but I had to get.
No, that's what I was going to say. It was great. That's actually the point I was going to make. Was like, it was a match, but one thing that did make it a little bit better than I thought was Dolph selling. Dolph is the ultimate workhorse, man. He makes people look good. He does it in such a way where it's believable. I just, you can't. You can see why this guy has stuck around WWE for so long. People shit on him for it, but the point is the dude knows how to work and make people look good, and that's going to keep you around for a long, long time. So he's only had a couple of titles or whatever, but who cares? He's doing the work to make people look like Jimmy look good.
He's a proper utility player.
He really is.
You need someone like him to get it enhanced. It's not some enhancement talent. Always to me sounds like a fancy name for a job or something.
Right.
That's kind of what he does. He enhances the people in the ring that he works with, even if they're like a Jimmy Uso who needs to get a bit more momentum. Dolph Ziggler's a name. He doesn't really win often, but you'll get a good match out of him, and it shows quite here as well. I thought they worked really well together. As I say, my only gripe about this match was that spot where Dolph threw Jimmy into the steps outside, and I don't know if Jimmy was looking for, like, I've got my TV here, but like, you got the flat bit of the steps that you can fly into.
Right.
My only thing is he must have been trying to flat back onto that, but it looks like he makes a total hair of it because he lands on the corner of the step, and it looked It looked really painful for that there. So I don't think it's on purpose. And if he is, he's a dafty. But that was just it was just like, maybe not a big. I wasn't a big fan of that. But it was a good show all round. We'll have to remember here again. Problems also only recently understood what to do with him, and now he can show what he does best. To a point that I think that's true. I think a lot of them were kind of hyping him as a show off and things like that, but then they were always trying to figure something out. They didn't quite have it worked out. So I totally agree with that. They found a role for him on a show that helps people out. I think their tag title run was a good sort of breaker. I feel a bit disappointed that the Street Profits didn't get the titles off them.
Yeah,
when the opportunity presented itself, but they got what they got out of them, and he'll be there for years to come. He'll be a trainer at WWE.
He will.
He'll be a lifer.
The other thing I did not like is that Jimmy kicked out of the zigzag 2 times. So killing the zigzag is now a transitional move. It is no longer a finisher. It's not. So, and both guys do super kicks, but yet Jimmy's super kick knocks down Ziggler. So, I get
kicking
it.
out of a finisher on normal TV, then you've killed the other guy. Pretty much. You really damaged them.
Hey, at least Roman Reigns knows how to stand and look at a TV while he watches, right? He's not completely sideways.
He is, honestly, he is setting a standard on WWE just now. Like, the true standard. And it's like, this is how you watch TV, guys. I don't know what you've been doing.
Yeah. I don't know what you've been doing.
Man, he is changing the game.
He is. And of course, so then you watch this match and you realize, okay, there's nothing left. So we've got to deal with the end of the show being talking. And Roman's like, oh, I've beaten everybody. He shows the footage of him beating Rey Mysterio, which, come on, it's Rey Mysterio. The guy's
knew it was happening.
It
was going to go down.
Yeah,
I was a bit sorry, I'll let you go. Oh, are you there?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
And no, I was going to say, from this promo, the only thing that really disappointed me is I really wanted to know what they were going to announce. That had me hooked when he said, this has never happened on national TV. I'm like, oh my God, something's happened. Something's like, he's going to go to Raw. He's going for Bobby. He's going for Bobby Lashley. I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm a big proponent of once they do the draft, they should unify the titles and have Roman Reigns win it all. Might as well. There's no one holding himself better than him just now. Sorry, Bobby. Bobby's doing a good job, to be fair. I'll give him his due, but he's not got a lot to work with. It would open the door for that main event picture to be a bit more kind of clear cut, and you get only the cream of the crop gets that to that point rather than just with everyone else. But I was kind of thinking that I thought they were going to do their own what's the Forbidden Door moment, like he's going to Raw,
right?
Or he might go to Karrion Kross in NXT for a match or something. These little things like that I thought I was excited for. But never mind, we never get that. Instead, Edge comes back. I didn't really see this coming. I don't think anyone saw this coming. I wasn't as excited as I would have thought I would be if something like this happened. When he came back. The luster's gone a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like a big wow moment because he's already beaten Edge. I mean, he packed them, stacked them, and pinned them. As much as I love Edge, the evidence is clear to see that they both got mashed at WrestleMania. There's not really much coming back from that. But I suppose it's a good sort of getting us over the line to Money in the Bank. It did get confirmed as the match for Money in the Bank after the last match.
Right. Which here's the thing. The only thing that can happen at Money in the Bank, because once again, you're in Texas, Fort Worth, live crowds, Edge wins the belt off Roman.
Oh, maybe not. What if he lost to Roman Reigns, and bold move as they might, if they put the Money in the Bank men's match as the main event, could we see like an ultimate opportunist moment, like how Brock Lesnar won it one year? If Edge lost and then utter carnage happens and Edge just runs in and swipes the briefcase.
See, but I don't want to have to deal with that, to be honest with you.
But then you could move Edge to Raw that way as well. You can move him to the other side, and he can.
If he can't handle Roman Reigns, you think he can handle Bobby Lashley?
Yeah, because Roman Reigns is top banana.
So full of shit right now. Oh my God, listen to you. I swear, I didn't know I was doing a podcast with Rick Vickery all of a sudden. Jesus Christ.
No, but I just think if they're gonna, there's no way you're getting that belt off Roman until WrestleMania. I'm sorry, I will not have it. There's no reason to take it off until WrestleMania now.
Here's my thought though. You do it the other way. You have the match earlier. Edge wins. Roman wins the Money in the Bank. He does the ultimate opportunist. He turns the tables on Edge a little bit. And now he's got the Money in the Bank. And he can cash it in whenever he wants, and do it however he wants. I mean, he could do it at SummerSlam. He could do it whatever. So, I mean, you give Edge a little run, but you have Roman get him off. But then, off of that, who says Roman just doesn't whip his ass the next week on a rematch on SmackDown?
Yeah.
And then you have, how many times has the title changed hand on TV?
Yeah.
Very rarely. Boy, that would get put butts in seats. You know, you have a rematch and Roman wins on SmackDown on a Friday night, saying, "Hey, you better watch SmackDown. You never know when the title could change hands." I mean,
Acknowledge me live on SmackDown.
yeah. So I mean, there are things you can do with it. I don't disagree with you, but
Yeah.
the most logical choice that has to happen at this point, you've set it up, is that fans in crowd live action, because some of these results and everything sometimes that I read to kind of get ideas too. One of them said the Thunderdome crowd was upset with Roman. I'm like, yeah, because producers are fucking telling
by
him.
the way.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Carmella acknowledged them as well. Like, oh, you're not happy? He's like, there's no one there.
Yeah. And producers are telling him what to do. So, it's kind of like, we need live crowds. And so to get that pop, I think to have Edge win at Money in the Bank, is going to be what they're working for. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And that's the most logical thing. Now, does WWE do the most logical thing? No. We've seen time and time again that they do sometimes the least logical thing. But at this point, the most logical thing, the thing that makes the most sense, is they've just set up Edge winning winning the title at Money in the Bank.
See, I don't really know if it will, because we're supposed to apparently setting up for Reigns and Cena at SummerSlam. That seems to be the way they want to go. I don't know if they can afford to let Reigns lose at Money in the Bank if they want to go with that match, because obviously John Cena's coming off of like a crazy summer schedule for we've got the Fast and Furious film that's just come out, the Suicide Squad's come out. I think he's got another film that's coming out pretty soon as well. So he's got like shitloads coming out that he's involved in. So that's a lot of kind of TV. That's a lot of media on the mainstream media, entertainment channels, your Jimmy Fallons and all that. They're going to be all over this.
Yeah, which I think August. Right, is usually SummerSlam, right? August is SummerSlam.
August 23rd. We'll be okay. We're on. I think our show is on the day of SummerSlam, so we're gonna have to think about a plan of what we're gonna do for that.
Okay, because that was August is when the Suicide Squad comes out. So I
think it's like that same week, if I'm right in saying. That might be wrong.
It could be. It's what they usually release it on a Friday, so. It could be that Friday before whatchamacallit. Yeah. So before SummerSlam. So I
think But I think if you have Reigns going, if that match is what's going to happen, if we are going to get Reigns versus Cena, the last thing you can have Reigns do is lose, even if it's like a legitimate loss or a Money in the Bank cash in. I think you need to keep him as strong as possible now. I think anything down the way is going to make it tricky for the sale. Obviously, SummerSlam will sell itself. It's a big event. John Cena will be there, so he's all going to get ticket sales. But I think if you want to give Roman, if we really want to make this character the made man, he's taken out Edge, Daniel Bryan. He's had a great run with the championship. He's taken charge of SmackDown. He's one of the best things in WWE TV. And here is the guy that was. It's like John Cena and The Rock. It's like this is the guy from the generation before. Granted, we had this match at No Mercy, but it wasn't quite. That was years ago. And it wasn't quite the same. It didn't have the same sort of spice to it than what we've got now. It didn't have the same depth of character. There's no kind of, it doesn't need as much effort to make this work. It sells itself. So when you've got Roman Reigns coming in really strong and hot, and John Cena being John Cena, people will be watching this going, can he do it? Can he get 17 off the most dominant champion they've got going at the moment? I think it'd be really great. I think it'd be great to watch. But then I don't know. Is it going to be a sore one for Cena because he's probably going to have to lose that?
Right. If he does, they're not going to let him beat Ric Flair. There's no way they're going to let him overtake Ric Flair. Well,
when they book Jon Stewart to stop it happening, he's got no chance.
Right.
He's got no chance to have that happen. But I think it just needs that. You need to get as much strength in selling as possible, especially when we talked a couple of weeks ago how they're selling the tickets and how expensive they are. The rates are just going way inflated just because we're just back into this over COVID. So rather than making the attempt to fill the arena, I suppose it may be different because we're in a stadium. We're in Vegas, there's the big football stadium there, so it might not be as bad. But we've got to kind of get the investment in. If you're not going to win fans over by the ticket prices, you might as well try and win them over with really big events, and then get casual fans haven't seen it for years. These are the sort of matches that'll do it for you. You know, Brock Lesnar's supposed to be coming up with Bobby Lashley. That 2 main events there are massive, and it would be great for them. Whether they pull it off or not is another thing, but it just seems like you need.
Well, that's what we've been wanting since Bobby Lashley came back and Brock was on the roster. We wanted Bobby Lashley versus Brock. You know, that's been 2 years now in the making that we've wanted this thing to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. I mean, you know, come on, guys. This is
crazy to think that's the case, isn't it?
Yeah, you know. And but so they it's almost like, you know, they do what they want, and they know that no matter what, people are going to pay money for it. You know, I mean, look, the ticket prices that I talked to you about for this thing. First live show, of course you're going to want to be. Of course you're going to want to come. You know, so here, let's for fun of it right now. Let me WWE Money in the Bank tickets. Money in the Bank.
Did you say you were looking at were you not looking at nosebleed tickets of $150?
Yeah,
or something like that at the time.
That's
really
so
mental in terms of pricing.
Let's see. So right now, Ticketmaster. All right, we're gonna go to Ticketmaster because they're who's got the official tickets, right, for Money in the Bank. Okay, I agree. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like right now a lot of this has been sold. All right, so shocker, there's still plenty of seats around the floor. So let's say you want to buy a floor seat, right? There's not much for front row, but it's floor, row 5, seat 4 right now. That ticket, let's see. What is that ticket? All right, it's looking like that ticket is okay. I don't even want to say that. That's stupid. I'm not even going to look at that ticket. Yeah.
Come on. What's that number?
Here, I'm trying to. I've never done. Okay. Holy shit! $600 for floor, row 5, seat 4. Now,
fucking hell! Here, Ben's not far off there.
$600 for center ring. This is offside, off a little bit towards where the entrance is going to be. If you're looking middle center, floor 1, row 1, row 5, $600. $600.
Who is fucking spending that?
Okay.
Oh,
section 219, nosebleed, right? Up row 2, $100 per ticket to sit in up there.
Surely, is it not? I might be wrong with American figures and prices, but surely in America that's half the price normally in the nosebleeds. At least $50 for being up there. Surely, I'm maybe not as wired on to that, but wow, that's expensive.
Because
still,
because here's the thing: you can go to the next day at the AAC and get nosebleeds for I think $38. You know, because it's raw. It's not a pay-per-view. So this is a pay-per-view. So it looks like the cheapest you can get are in the corner sections of the upper deck at the Dickies Arena, which seats about 12,000. So, not a bad venue. But, upper deck there, $100 each. The next cheapest is center upper deck, and they're all at $200 a piece.
$200 in the middle row of the
upper deck. Yeah.
Fuck that. What? Yeah. What do they think they are? Do they think they're like World Championship boxing or UFC?
Apparently,
guys, fill the arena. Don't dick about with this.
Oh wait, get this. Dead center upper deck, $250.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And then each side of it is $250. $275. Okay, so here's the cheapest floor seat that I found. Floor 7, which is back. You're kind of at the ring, but you're not there. Row 12, $275.
Oh my god! Is this SummerSlam or is this Money in the Bank?
This is Money in the Bank. This is in Fort Worth. This is 30 minutes from my house. And I was like, okay, cool. All right. So there's a floor seat. It's not on the floor. It's like, one of those sections right before, and you're row 1 there. That's $300. So like those back floor seats have to be like way back. Like you're almost should have been in the row, which you'd be better off just getting a row seat, just sitting in that next level up. And then it goes to floor seats, wherever those are. Row 5, row 4, row 5, row 4, $500 a piece there. Row 5, row 4, $500 a piece there. All 525, 600. Section floor 1, row 5, 600. Oh, wait! Holy shit! I just totally missed this. Floor 2, which is middle of the ring, right? Middle section floor. Row
is that camera
row
side?
6. I can't tell like based off of this. It would be like if I'm looking at it, it would be the north, I guess section, the top part. Section floor 2, row 6, $700 each. Row same area, row 5, 1 row further up, $800.
Oh no one spend that money right now. No, hang on, I just knocked us off. Sorry. No, don't spend that money. $800 to sit in that fucking seat. $10 gets you the whole show, the full shebang, all its productive quality and everything like that on TV. $800. This isn't even a WrestleMania. Like, this isn't a big event.
And this is from Ticketmaster, who's not the resale site. They're the ones doing it.
Christ.
They're the ones doing it on site. So yeah, Ben said $500. Obviously,
he's
first
off.
3 rows, he's off because they're saying,
oh my god,
$1,000 to $800 to sit row 5. Row 5. I couldn't even imagine what front row was.
That is extortionate. That is extortionate.
Most of them are sold out. All the front rows are sold out. So like if you go to Ticketmaster, and look at it, the closest you can get is row 5. That's the closest you can get is row 5. So like when you go to ringside,
share the screen on your side. Can you put it up?
Let me see how I can do that. Streamer, is there a way I can do that?
Yeah, share. The share. Yeah, there's like a share button underneath there, and then it should hopefully pop up all days.
I got it right here. We're gonna share this right here. All right, did I do it? I can't tell.
Hang on, put this add to the stream. There we go.
Okay, all right.
You go down a bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
All right. So like this is okay. So let me look at this. So this is the ring, right? So here's the ring. All these are all sold. The closest you can get, like right here, that's. Do you see that? Do you see that right there? Do you see that? $1,000 plus fees for row 4.
What the fuck?
Because it maxes out. Row 4 is $1,000. This is Ticketmaster. This is not resale. This is from the thing.
This is the base. This is the base level of your tickets.
Row 5 floor. Look at this. Row 5. Look how far back you are from already. $600. Oh my god! I mean,
seats are left. Look at that.
Yeah,
$500.
500 right here. Let's see what this is. $500 for floor 7, row 3 in the corner. Oh my god! This is.
It's mostly
handicap. Oh my god! $500 for wheelchair accessible to sit on the floor right there.
Wheelchair seats is $500. This is actually disgusting.
It is. This is Ticketmaster. This is not resale. This is available. So let's
look at that big sea of blue. Is that like on the mini map there? Is that like where most seats are available? Look at that. It's all camera side.
Blue is available, and then of course this is, and then all of this is sold. This is what's available.
So people have spent that money on that.
Yeah,
someone spent over $1,000 on those seats. It's not worth it, guys.
So that row 4 was $1,000, right? So we looked at that. Row 4 right here, right, was $1,000. What did they pay for these? Because you can't see it.
There's no way.
It doesn't give you the price. It doesn't give you the price because they're already sold. What did people pay for this?
Disgusting.
And this is a 12,000 seat arena in Fort Worth. It's brand new arena. I'm gonna give you that. Very nice arena. Nothing like egregious or whatever. But like, George Strait has had a concert here. They've had a few things here. But yeah, so they have sold a lot of seats for this thing. It's sold very, very well. But there's still some high-end seats here. It says mix. So I guess this is where the front of house and your mix and everything's going to be here. This is going to be your entrance stage, everything here, walking to the ring and everything around it there. So, you got some nosebleeds up here. And then you got these high, like this whole section has pretty much been sold except for a few spots here and here and here. But, looks like the majority of your is here. And it's like, why would I pay $500 to be back here? Who paid for these seats? What are these? How much are these? So like this one right here.
Commentary.
Yeah. $300. Yeah, maybe
that's for if that man ain't saying that's like the lower part of the stand. That's not even the floor.
Right.
$300.
Mm-hmm. On row 1.
Jesus, no wonder it's called Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they're putting their money in the bank. It's okay.
Insane.
Let's go to this section, which is a couple of rows back, right? From where we looked at, $300 there to row 3 in off the floor. Right here. Let's go right here. How much?
Nobody. Who will pay $1,000 for a seat? Too many people. That's how many.
$500. Look, $500 right here. You're not even the floor. You're on the front row of section 108.
Yeah, that's $500. You're basically saying, do you want to be seen on camera? Extra $200.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's like, honestly, man, like this is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
$200 for that sort of region, okay, maybe. For a big event, bear in mind this is like, you can see this for $10 at home, and probably have just as good an experience. Like, I don't like WWE Live. We got shows announced for Glasgow later this year, and I'm not going.
Yeah. Well, why would I? I'm paying $50 to sit in the VIP section at VIP Wrestling and watching good wrestling, and then having a great time. Why am I going to pay? Why am I going to pay $200 to sit in nosebleed to watch WWE?
Since the top, it was 100, wasn't it? We got the.
Yes, I think depends. So like up here, they're $250. To 100,
sort of Eastern,
200
side was sort of
yeah. Let's see, somewhere in here. That's 200. Yeah.
Looks like you're gonna have to be off camera side to get them any cheaper then.
Yeah. So if you're off camera, this is 200 up here. Still 200 up here.
$200 at the minimum to get into the building right now.
Right there.
There's $100.
Yeah, there's $100 right there in nosebleed. So
you're very welcome. If you do buy a ticket, let us know.
Yeah.
Please don't spend $1,000 on a ticket, mate. Don't
So
just be awful.
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely mind-boggling.
If you buy a ticket and you pay that much money, I will gladly host you in my house 30 minutes away because you probably have no money for. You probably, we'll get you on the show and you can host at my house. I'll host you at my house because you probably have no money for hotel or food or anything like that.
Put it this way, right? If you're listening to this right now or you're watching it and you bought a ticket for this at that rate, I will get you on this show and we'll literally just have you on for this one question. Mm-hmm. Why? That'd be it. And then you'll be getting that question. That's all. Fair and full disclosure. What I will say, I'll ask you this question, right? And this is an honest question, right? Who's watched Raw? Let's ignore SmackDown for a while. Who's watched Raw and saw tickets on sale at Money in the Bank at that price and went, I'm going to buy a ticket for that? Like it's not even worth the money. It's not even worth the $10 that people are paying to watch on TV. You're going to pay $1,000 just to be there? Like, Jesus, guys.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be as much as that for SummerSlam. Maybe if it's like in the front row of that event, maybe. But come on, guys. That's bad.
This is them saying, we know This is the first event back, and you want it. We're going to take it from you. This is them just doing it. Well, I mean, we talked about the AEW tickets that are going on sale here at Garland. Those were same thing. Let's see, AEW tickets, Garland, Texas. Let's look at that up.
I'm loving this sincerity from these companies saying, "Oh, we can't wait to have fans back. We can't wait for full arenas, but they'll pay." It's like, guys, just get the full. Just get it. Yeah. That's your selling. That's your selling point there, right? Is I know that people will say, "Look, you're undercutting your own business if you're not going to channel," but at the same time, it's like, you know what? You need to make it worth. You need to give them something. It's like, in a kind of brutal way of putting it, it's like a drug dealer, right? You don't give them the whole supply for that right away. You give them a little piece, a little touch, and you bring them in. You get them back again. It's the same. It's like, just fill it. Get at a cheap price for your tickets right now. Have people go, "Oh wow, I can't believe I spent this. Can't believe I spent $50 on decent tickets for Money in the Bank. What a show it was! It's amazing." And then you can just start bumping the prices up a little bit. Bump it up when you get to bigger events like SummerSlam, like Survivor Series, and these things. You can go for higher rates, but you need to encourage fans to come. You need to. Now, this is probably, maybe I'm not putting it right, because we've seen there in the Ticketmaster, I think a lot of tickets have been sold. How many of those were scalpers? That's the other thing. We've got to think about that.
True.
But then, like, you got to sell that. Like, you got to encourage. If you really want your fans back, then prove it. Like, put your money where your mouth is. Because if you can do it right and get the fans in, and you get a big response, a big atmosphere, a great show, everything comes to life. Guess what? People want to do that themselves. They'll want to come and see these shows. They'll want to be part of that atmosphere. They want to be in the stands. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They'll buy the tickets. But it's true. But you at that point, when they do, put your tickets up a little bit. Make a bit more money off them. Get your profits in. You're making more money than you've ever made before in your life, if you're in WWE's case, without anyone being there. No one's paying a ticket price. They're going on the Zoom calls to do the Thunderdome thing. Not a penny spent. They're making money off of like TV deals, other bits and pieces, advertisings, the works. You know what I mean? But so you can afford this. You can afford to go a bit cheaper for this big event, and this is the first. Make a big deal of it, and then if you want to make more money off it, do it down the line when it's done its job. When you've got the people that you're going to get guaranteed ticket sales by that point. You're going to fill the houses up. The TV product's better, and the atmosphere's stronger. You will fill it up. This is just like. They put their cards on the table too soon, pretty much. We need money, so $1,000 for a 4-seat. Thank you very much. There's better ways, and maybe I'm a bit more customer servicey. Maybe I'm asking too much of them, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, you got to think about the long term here. If you can pull this off, you're going to make way more money down the line than you will do doing it this way. And that's what drives me nuts about it.
Okay, interesting. So this year they're doing Fyter Fest again, right?
Yeah.
For AEW. So I'm on their official page to look for tickets.
Are they doing package deals again?
So they have. I have to look at it. So they're saying Fyter Fest Night 1 will be July 14th at Cedar Park, Texas, which is like down near Austin. Night 2 will be in Garland. So this is a way to, which is July 21st, which is the next week. So the whole, now mind you, the Curtis Caldwell Center in Garland, 2,000 seat arena, all right, compared to WWE's. So let's see details here. Okay, it doesn't give me any. Buy tickets. If I want to buy tickets, let's go. I'm going through AEW's event. Let's see. What is Juneteenth Hip Hop Festival? Welcome back to her. Okay, so they're saying between $30 and $250 for All Elite Wrestling.
Is that for the whole place?
That's the whole place, plus $20 for parking. So you're gonna pay, and then it's whatever the VIP experience is. The VIP experiences are sold out. They have 3 levels. Okay, so let me read you the Super VIP package. Includes 1 ringside ticket for within the first 3 rows, pose with the World Championship belt, have your photo taken with a professional photographer, access to our exclusive VIP lounge before the event featuring complimentary appetizers, cash bar with 2 drink tickets, 1 commemorative VIP merchandise item, 1 commemorative VIP ticket laminate, 1 AEW poster, Early entry with merchandising, shopping, on-site event host. That's the first level. It doesn't say how much it is because it's sold out. So I want to say that's probably a couple grand based off of that. The next experience, next one down. One premium reserve ticket at price level 2. So you're not on front row. You're probably on the floor still. Access to our exclusive VIP lounge for the event featuring company advertisers, cash bar with 1 drink ticket, 1 commemorative VIP ticket and laminate, and 1 AEW poster, early entry and merchandising. Next level. Oops. Sorry, changing talking with my hands. The next level, 1 premium reserve ticket at price level 3, access to our VIP lounge, complimentary advertisers, 1 ticket. So basically it's the same, you're just further back there. But let's see. Let's select seats through AEW's website for the Curtis Caldwell Center to see what they have available through there. Because some of the other places, so they're saying the floor is not available at all. All right. Because other websites have it. So they have a section here. Let me just share this screen with you too. Let's see. You want to share?
Get it up.
Yeah.
4,000 tickets. No, it's 4. Did you say 4,000? No. Yeah, 4,000 seater arena that they're going to.
2,000.
2,000.
Okay. So I want to. Okay. Buy tickets. Okay.
This is usually Ben and Matt's jurisdiction, so we're kind of creeping in a little bit. Hi guys.
yeah. So all right, so this is what's available. All right, so this is showing what's available here. So here's the ring here, entryway. Here's going to be the stage, entryway to the ring.
We don't see anything of that just now. You able to scroll down a wee bit? I just see the top poster at the moment.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Sorry, I'm doing it from here. Okay. Okay, let me stop this screen. Let me do this instead.
Okay.
All right, let me share screen.
I can't go over that. Like the lowest price I've got is $30, which is pretty incredible. When like we're looking at my bank and the lowest is like 100. Oh, here we go. Right up here.
All right, you can see it now. Is it scrolling down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the stage down here. This is your ramp and to the ring. All right. So this is from the official AEW side. All right. So floor completely not available. All right. Right here, P2, $70. Right here, $70. Right here, $50. $50, $50, $50, $50, $50. So I can't tell you what they're. Now, you can go to other sites and find these tickets, and they are way jacked up. Yeah. Now, mind you, this is a 2,000-seat auditorium. The one in Fort Worth.
You're closer.
And you're close. So you're closer.
You're closer then, aren't you? Yeah.
You're closer, yeah. Because, I mean, it's not that big. Mind you, the one in Fort Worth is 12,000. So 10,000 more than that. So, but still, not a massive thing. It shouldn't be. Who's paying for those, by the way? Oh, those are the VIP. VIP up there. So, AEW is charging $50 for these right here and $70 for these, and then of course everything else is sold out. So it's one of those things where I look at it and go, okay, well, I don't know. But for me, you also have to factor in you're paying $20. That doesn't include fees, and you're having to pay $20 for parking. Yeah. For someone like me, that is easily an hour and a half to 2 hour drive across the Metroplex. Yeah. I'm not going to go do that for that cost.
But would you not have the same issue doing Money in the Bank, though? Would you not have to pay private parking as well?
Well, they don't show that listed because Dickies Arena doesn't. I guess they own the whole area around it, and so they haven't charged for parking. But it could be one of those things where you pay at the gate when you get there. Yeah. It's not that it's necessarily you're paying for it ahead of time. So
still though, it sounds like you're getting a bit more bang for buck out of doing this than you are Money in the Bank.
Right. In a way. But whereas Money in the Bank is more appealable to me because at least it is 30 minutes away for me. This is an hour and a half. So that means I'm going to have to basically almost pay for a full tank of gas to go to this, which is going to be another, for right now, the way gas is that's going to be $30 to $40 on top of the 20 I'm paying for parking. So that's 50 there already, plus another 50. So that's for one ticket. So, I mean, obviously, if I'm going to go with Jacob. So that's 2 tickets. So that's $100 there. Plus, I spend another 50. Plus, you got to consider how we're going to eat, because we're going to have to eat at some point. So that's another 30 to $40, depending on where we go eat, because you have a 15-year-old. So, I mean, this ultimately costs me almost as much as it would just one ticket for Money in the Bank if I sat in the nosebleed, but there's less wear and tear on my car. I can make that drive without dealing with gas, things along those lines. There are things that can be done. So it's almost a wash for someone like me, to drive to an AEW event versus the Money in the Bank. But I just can't justify paying $250 to sit in the nosebleed. I really can't. So it's just disappointing to see some of these businesses, these companies doing this, especially when you're coming back for the fans. For that, I would agree AEW is extremely cheap, but let's be honest, this is some of these prices are higher because they're justifying Fighter Fest.
Yeah.
In a 2,000 seat arena, you should not be paying $50 for an upper decker. Even though you're closer, you shouldn't be paying $50 for that. You're justifying that by saying, "Oh, this is Fighter Fest Night 2," which is bullshit.
Yeah,
this is the first show's back with fans.
It's Dynamite, isn't it? It's just a Dynamite show, but it's just put a thing on it.
It's a Wednesday. It's a Dynamite, and you're just saying, "Oh, it's Fighter Fest Night 2," and so you're justifying that when these should be it should be half of that. It should be half of that, and especially because you're coming back, and it's going to be live shows. You're going to have live crowds here, which I know they had them in Jacksonville, but these are going to be you're touring the country
on the road ones,
and you're doing that to people. Personally, I think that's like if you really want to garner, especially Texas. Especially Texas. If you want to, Texas has some of the hottest wrestling scene going right now. If you want to get some wrestling fans to join in and get on with what you're doing, cut those prices in half, AEW.
Yeah.
Get people to go. Or like Ben said, hey, have it for $50, but then the next one's $1. If you buy the seat next to you, that's $1.
Good deal. Yeah.
I would do that. If I could get a ticket for me and my kid and I'm paying $51 for tickets, that is worth it to me. And I agree. Yes, $1,000 a ticket is stupid too. But the point is that AEW is trying to get fans. And you want to get fans, you want to show you're fan friendly, you make those prices to where people show up. You take the hit, but you deal with it and you go, okay, you buy a ticket, you get a ticket for $1. And people will jump on that like nobody's business, because that is the whole point. People want to go with their families. They want to do these things and share these things with people. So that's the purpose behind it. And so, again, I don't justify. This is why I don't like Edge coming back. I know this is why they're doing it, because they're doing live. We've seen how stupid the prices are for WWE, to do that. And people, and that's the sad part, though. People are willing to do it until people stop giving WWE their money and saying, you need to fix this. It's going to continue this way. AEW needs to take a lesson and go, maybe we need to undercut them and really get into their live promotion in selling business by we're gonna keep running these smaller arenas, but let's go even a little bit cheaper so we can pack it out and get as many people as possible. And then I guarantee you go to bigger arenas, you go to 10,000 seat arenas, and you have prices that are decently reasonable. You're gonna get people to show up. They're gonna book. They're gonna show. You're gonna sell it out. And so it's just, to me, this is where I struggle with this a little bit, because money is not like necessarily a thing that I have a lot of. I went to the wrestling show Friday night because my dad was like, hey, I want to go. And he paid for the tickets. He paid for dinner. You know, he gave me gas money, which I didn't need gas money, but he's like, hey, here you go. Here's some gas
Good
money.
dad.
Yeah. Well, I just found out my dad, he had a Lincoln Navigator and he just bought a Range Rover just because he could. You know, it's just,
Yeah. Does your dad do the thing, right? My dad does this, right? He gets a new car and he just gets me in it just to drive me about. Not just to show it off. Just be like, I got my new car. Let's go for a drive.
well,
No matter where we go, we're just going to do a big 20-mile drive for no reason.
No, not really. I mean, he'll do it with his classic cars, but I'm asking, hey, can I go ride in the Nomad, or can I go ride in the Mustang, or whatever? Or no, he's got a T-Bird. Can I ride the T-Bird or whatever? But with this, we pull into the restaurant we were meeting him at, that we always go to. We go to Papacita's in Fort Worth. It's a tradition for Jacob and I, and we're getting my dad in it. And so I pull up, and I don't see his Navigator, and he's like, I know he's here. So I pull in, we walk in, and he's already there because my dad is always early. And we're talking, and then he's like, oh, hey, did you know I got a new car? I was like, well, what happened to the Navigator? He goes, oh, I still have it. I said, well, what kind of car did you get? Oh, I got a Range Rover. I was like, he's wanted a Range Rover forever. And I've always said, look, those things break. They're terrible. They have the worst rating as far as dependability and whatever. And he's just like, screw it, I'm doing it anyway. He's like, I'm 70. He goes, I said, so what brought this about? He goes, I'm 72 and I wanted to do it, and I have the money, so why not?
Yeah, that's a fair reason,
It's just like, all right, cool. Hey, it's a nice color blue. It's a very, very nice blue. It's funny because we're leaving the wrestling venue that night, and he's going to get his car to go, and Jacob and I are going. He unlocks it, and there's a light shining from the door handle down on the ground with the Range Rover symbol, as if to say, this is your car, kind of thing. It was very, very bougie and just silly. And I'm like, Dad, you crack me up, dude. So, it's just very funny. He was like, yeah, no, that's cool. So my dad wouldn't do it for WWE, but he would do it for AEW because he knows Lance, and he's met Lance, and Lance is a really good dude. And he wouldn't see those prices as egregious. Now, my dad is also sensible. He's not well off because he spends money on stupid things. He would look at those tickets at WWE and go, there's no way in hell I'm paying $1,000 for a ticket. There's no way in hell I'm paying $200 for a ticket on the nosebleed. My dad likes value for the money. The thing that makes the VIP show great is you're paying $50. You're inside the barrier, sitting where wrestlers can just fall on you and all kinds of stuff. And that makes it entertaining. That's worth $50 right there to do something like that. So my dad sees value in that. So if you present something to my dad, you do it in a business manner where you're showing, hey, this is what it costs. This is what we would do. And this is what you're getting for that cost. And so every time we've done it, he's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I like that. I'll pay that. Let's go do that. That sounds fun. So that's how you have to present my dad, because he's a bit of a businessman. And unfortunately, I know we've just kind of been railing on this Money in the Bank price thing, but I think it's important for people to see, WWE at the end of the day, they don't care about you. They don't. Yeah. We see this with the writing. We see this with the way they program, and we see this with the way they charge for their events, especially their pay-per-views. If you look at the next day, the tickets for Raw, next day, they are easily a third of the price. Nosebleeds in the AAC, I think, are like $28 to $38. Compared to $250. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Granted, I know it's a pay-per-view, event. It's a big event, but is it worth 10 times of what you're paying for a Raw? I don't know. So
considering there's like no real difference in value when you're watching on TV or watching on pay-per-view at home.
Right.
You're only paying $10 is nothing.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
And they're wanting you to spend $1,000 to watch the same show. That's my thinking anyway. Is like, you're going to spend $1,000 to see something you can see for 10.
Right.
Granted, it's
but you're there.
You're there. It's a big experience.
There. But you get chance going, all that stuff.
But if you're watching the current product, would you say it's worth $1,000?
Oh no. That's the problem.
Not even that.
It's not worth the value. So
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. I've been preaching for I feel like I'm back on Sunday mornings at church.
We've had a good go at this today. We've had a good goes at this, but we'll get into closing thoughts here because we're about to finish up for the show. But it's been a good show. Yeah, this has been a really good SmackDown. I've quite enjoyed doing this on the Sunday. You know what? It's a nice change of pace. We've had plenty of people. We've had people come on, get involved, which I'm happy with. We were kind of mentally preparing ourselves for no one being on the stream when we went live. So thanks for joining us on that. It's always been much appreciated for that. Yeah. Next week's 4th of July weekend. So it's going to be quite I don't know how we're going to do this because I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be in town. I'm away from my setup and all that stuff. I've got some family business to do that there. No, thank you. Nobody worth to remember. You are worth to remember because you were getting involved there. So thank you. Thanks for doing this. This is exactly what we like to do on this show. Is we love it when people get involved. We love it when you leave your comments, your questions. When you're on the live chat with us. Since we came onto the live chat, I'd like to call this the live chat area of the Smack Attack. I think we've had some of the best shows we've ever done on this since I've come on. I think it's been such a great time. So many great responses, great comments. We can be a bit more wild, a bit loose and free on this one. So I think this is going to be a good thing for us going forward. So stick around, get involved. We usually go on a Saturday. As I say, 4th of July weekend. We may or may not be here. We might be.
I'm going to be at the lake. I'm going to be at the lake.
Yeah, you're going to be at the lake. So if you are going to be on, it's going to be someone who is in charge of production.
Yeah, because
I've got.
It'll be headphones, my earbuds, and my phone, and I'll probably again just be that dickhead who shows off what it's like at the lake. Yeah,
totally. Show off some lake photos for that. Yeah. So I'll be back in a couple. So I'll be back myself in a couple of weeks' time. I've got some family stuff. We've got a family birthday over in Glasgow and things like that. It's a full day thing for that there. So. I'm away for the whole weekend for that there, so sadly I won't be available. But we will come up with some content. We'll do some stuff with you. We always want to see from you. So if we don't make it next week, we'll make up for it some other way. We'll do a make good for you. So don't worry about that. We'll have you in mind. We love it when we do that. But always, SmackDown is always great fun to get in touch with us. There's great ways. So if we're not in the live chat, if you don't see us, you can always get in touch with anything and everything. We will get in touch. We will respond. We might not tweet back all the time or anything like that, but we do see it. We do make notes of it. We always make questions and comments part of the mail site. We've not done it this week, but we usually do. You can put
down below. Read the ticker.
Read the ticker there. You can get in touch with many ways. You can find us at Smack Attack HMG on Twitter. If you've got an email account, if you want something more than 180 characters, you want us to read it out in the show, you can send us an email directly to us. smackattack@gmail.com. If you're on Facebook, if you've got a Facebook account, if you're not already there, why not get onto the Hammy Media discussion group on Facebook? Some of the best stuff we've got going on. Lots of fans, lots of listeners to Hammy Media content people. There's wrestling people, MMA people, conspiracy people there. We're all in this big hodgepodge of people in this great community. We do great stuff there. We've got pick'ems for wrestling shows, for WWE shows. We've got some discussion points. William Alicia, I would like to see our chief journalist in the Hammy Media group. Honestly, some of the best news content around, up there with the likes of Sean Ross Sapp. William gets in there with some stuff months in advance. I really do not exaggerate when I say that. I really mean that. There's stuff he's come out with. An example I've used not long ago was the sale coming up for the WWE. There was chat about WWE selling off to a new company or someone taking over the reins. And lo and behold, a lot of these releases, a lot of these people getting taken away are leading towards a potential sale coming up in the wee while. So these are the sort of things, if you want to get into the proper meat and potatoes of not just wrestling storylines, but the actual business going on of WWE, that's the guy to go to. This is your go-to, and you can make some money off it as well.
As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, he was either Thursday night or Friday morning. I don't remember when. He predicted that we're going to be another series of cuts.
Oh, he was there. He was on the post. He was like, WWE's incoming. I went, what, today? And he went, yeah, today. And then we got a big old list of people that got released. No one wants to see it, but you know what? It's good to be kept in the know. So it's your go-to. If you want to get the up to the moment news stories when he's there, you know you're in. You're ahead of the game with William Alicia. So I've blown his head enough today.
Yeah. So to knock him down, he is an AEW fanboy, so you have to put up with his annoying. AEW is the greatest ever. Yeah.
I did say to him one time when he put up some AEW stuff, I was like, mate, I'm no longer plugging yours for a while. So, but to his credit, I have to, because it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. It merits it, to be fair. It is 100% for the best content. We're not just on there. We've got us on, what was it called? Twitch. There's Hammy Media on Twitch. Ben Hameen's on Twitch as well. Why not check us out on other platforms? You can find us on Spotify, Spotify, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts from. The Hammy Media Group Affiliates podcast channel, some great stuff that goes on there. You've got NFO, you've got Suck My Balls, a South podcast, and probably one of the best podcasts around on that network, the Academy podcast, hosted by my man here, John Enright, and Triple D. Some great Star Trek stuff if you want to get your nerd on. I love the discussions that you do for that there. They're always some great stuff. Great insight into the world of Star Trek. Last time you went into the sort of deeper lore of Star Trek that
we talked beta
not a lot
canon.
of people get to know. The beta canon, which is all the books and extra content that you don't get on TV and movies. Which is
and then always there's always a way. I find a way to break Triple D at some point, either through a news story or something that we deal with. Which, if you want to hear,
not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
And if you want to hear him go off, it is the most hilarious thing every time. It is so funny. It is just unfiltered raw, and I just sit back and I'm just giggling the whole time while he does that. And it's just and that's the funny part is sometimes I think I'll get him and he won't break, but then it's like then we're talking like it will be in the main point, and then all of a sudden he'll break on something like that. And it's just like I thought I had it, and then all of a sudden he breaks on something else, and I'm like, all right, I got one for this show. Like that's literally my whole goal is, to find a way to get him to rant for a good 5 to 10 minutes.
You are truly the Q of the podcast.
So which by the way, which if you didn't hear that, Paramount Plus, they have a $4.99 tier for where you get limited ads, but you can get Paramount Plus for $4.99. So if you wanted to get any of that content, you can watch all of it. You can check it out now there. And supposedly Amazon bought MGM Studios, which means Amazon has the rights to all of James Bond. So I know I'm super stoked about that.
Maybe that's why I should talk to Rad Rob if I ever get onto his podcast.
No, fuck James that. Bond. Him and I have already said we're talking about James Bond.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm not right. Right then. So who's the best Bond?
Oh, Connery.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I grew up with Connery.
Roger Moore's second for me, but then
really.
I think so. Pierce Brosnan does a good Bond. Pierce Brosnan fits the bill quite nicely, but I just think Sean Connery's top tier. Then Roger Moore had some good films too. Apart from that one there where he aged a bit, I was like, oh.
Yeah. So for me, it goes Connery is one. I like Craig too because he has a little bit of that Connery physicality and swagger. So he kind of reminds me of Connery in that sense. Then Brosnan is 3. Moore is 4, and then and then Dalton and
George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton.
Yeah,
pair of them.
And poor Timothy Dalton. It's not that he's not a good actor. It's just the films that he was given. They were not good Bond films. Good. At all. So and I go Pierce over Roger because Pierce was a little better physicality wise, which Bond needs. Than Roger
and
Moore.
he had a quality run of films as well.
GoldenEye,
Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough. It's like that's strong.
That's
strong.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Bond actors got a run like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say Moore didn't. I mean, View to a Kill, where you have Christopher Walken as the bad guy. I mean, you gotta love that.
But I suppose that was him winding down though.
That was him winding down. But that was the thing though. He was older when he started, so already physicality wise, it just wasn't the same level as you got with Connery or Craig or even Brosnan. So you have to have that guy that can, be there physically, that can do that. And Moore, that's why he's just below. Because I think the level of films that him and Brosnan have are very similar. They're very similar films. But I think Pierce being a little bit more believable in the role physically than Moore, I think that's where it pans off for me. I did love, you gotta love Live and Let Die. Man with the Golden Gun. Those are all great. Yes. Man with the Golden Guns was Moore's. Right. That was really good. Live and Let Die. great. Of course, I'm biased because they do some stuff in Louisiana with the sheriff, and then they bring him back for Man with a Golden Gun when they're in Tibet. And he's like, "Oh, look at you, boy. Like, let's go get him." And the sheriff from the backward state of Louisiana, which growing up, I knew people like that. So those two were great films. I really enjoyed
From Russia
those.
with Love is a nice one. Quite like
From Russia with Love. That's a Bond one. That's a Connery one. From Russia with Love. You're thinking about The Spy Who Loved Me.
What was that?
The Spy Who Loved Me. Because From Russia with Love was Connery. It's like the second.
Oh no, I was just saying that in general. I love.
Oh yeah. I was talking yeah. But yeah. I mean,
Spy Who Loved Me was good though. I liked that one too. I did enjoy that one. Early days Bonds was quality.
Yeah, really. But I mean, Connery's run was great. I mean, even when he was older and he had to do Diamonds Are Forever, it was still quality. I mean, just the whole idea of it was great. I loved it.
That's it. I want in on this chat now. That's it. If you're doing this with Rob and you're going Bond, I want in on this. I want in on this chat big time. I'm not messing about. Like,
and Goldfinger is one of the best. Yeah, and No Nutty. Yes, definitely. Goldfinger was the best Connery, I think. I'll go. Although I did like You Only Live Twice too. That was a really good one. Oh,
that was the unofficial one, wasn't it? That was one that wasn't officially a Bond film, but it totally was.
No, it was. It was. No, that's the official one. It's the one where he's in Japan. Where they. You're thinking of what? Never Say Never Again or something like
Never
that.
Again. That's it. Because they brought back Connery to do it.
Right, because there was a whole thing. It was another guy said he had the rights, and there was a whole schism. Because I don't
think it was an MGM film, if I remember.
It was not.
It was a different company, and that was why they done it. But they didn't. They don't refer to him. They don't refer to it as a 007 film or a James Bond film at any point.
Right.
So they kind of
and there's no
smart. But it's not a Bond film, but it totally is.
Yeah, it is a Bond film, but it's not a Bond film. Yeah, and basically they redid Thunderball. It's all it is. Never Say Never Again is like another Thunderball. And so because there was an issue with the rights of that, it's like the guy who was the writer or whatever. And so they settled in court and he got that, so he was able to make that version that he wanted. But with I forget the chick's name, who's a supermodel or whatever. But yeah, the whole thing of that was it was just Thunderball over again. Told from a different direction. So they had a goofy cue, and I mean it wasn't, and then instead of the scene of the casino, they're playing the space thing, with that guy. So but I mean, You Only Live Twice is great because that was the one where we get Blofeld and Spectre, and they're taking the space capsules, American and Russian space capsules, and holding these prisoner people hostage, and there's a whole thing there, and we meet Tanaka, the Japanese secret agent, mastermind, and all that stuff. So it was, and of course, I'm partial to Japan. I'm eventually going to go to Japan at some point to go watch Wrestle Kingdom and all that. So and tour Japan because that's a bucket list thing I want to do. Yeah. So that one I'm partial to as well. So. That's my favorite.
Hammy Media Group and all your podcast providers. You can find us here for the affiliate channel. That's where you'll find the Retro Rewind podcast with Rob Francois. That's exactly why we were talking about the James Bond content as well, because he does these podcasts. They're so good. Yeah, I want in on it. Rob, if you're watching this, Rob, at any point, I want in on this James Bond chat. I'm no one left out of this. I'm not having that. This is my wheelhouse. My boy Sean Connery is the best Bond. I'm not having a miss out of that. Anyway. You can get in touch with us in any of that way, so we'd love to get in touch with you. Is there any other business before we close off here? I think we've had a great run today for this one. For our Sunday morning show, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, so I do want to finish with Jackson Stone's Your Love mental health tip for this week. This week is about finding a therapist. Searching for a therapist is a lot like dating. There are loads of qualified therapists out there, pardon me, but finding the right one can take time. Therapy is more effective if you feel connected with your therapist, so finding the right fit is everything. Therapists can teach you skills to improve your mental health and work with you to process your thoughts, feelings, and actions. However, it is your responsibility to utilize these skills and do the work every day outside of meeting your therapist. So, and he says he hopes you have a fantastic week. Take good care of yourself. Much love. you are loved. And he said, P.S.
Oh.
Thanks for being here. So that's our mental health tip of the week. Hey guys, you need a therapist to help you with this mental health journey. I have a therapist. I'm going. Yeah, Sonic, you missed a good one. Sorry, my friend.
We've done some stuff today, man.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking when we say that. It's been a belter of a show.
Yeah. So just catch it on the replay there, Sonic.
Yeah. And get your comments in as you go as well. I'd love to hear your comments as you go through the show.
So, but yeah, you need a therapist on this mental health journey. You cannot do it alone. I have a therapist. I'm going every other week. Because I have stuff I have to deal with and I can't do it on my own. So it's important to find a therapist. Find the one that works for you. I had one. I started with a guy, didn't work for me. It wasn't a fit. So I told their coordinator, I said, look, this guy isn't a fit. I'm just not feeling it. And they said, okay, well, we'll hook you up with this other person. And her name's Angela, and she's great. And so she's been perfect for me. That has been the big deal for us. Hey, look, we taught somebody that how WD is robbing people.
Being real.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
But therapy is important in your process for mental health. Make sure you're doing it. You said how often you go, but then also learn those things that they're teaching you and how to apply them in life. So that's what we want to end with today on that. So other than that, I think we're all good, my friend. I think we've covered everything.
Great advice from Nobody Worth to Remember. Watch this show when you get the chance. I know we're a bit early today, but it's been an absolute grand one. Some of the responses we've had to this show has been fantastic. We absolutely love it when we do it. So please stay around. If you've just jumped on, go right back to the beginning and watch the whole thing. I'm not really saying that just to puff out my chest too much. We did dive into so much today. It's been a very big show. We did a lot with the SmackDown review. We did a big chunk on WWE pricing, on their tickets. James Bond chat's been going on. We've done a bit of production stuff. We've talked about the writers getting sacked and everything. It's been a hell of a time. It's been a better of a show. I love this. And it's a good one to close off and a good Sunday show. The first Sunday brunch edition of the Smack Attack. It's been absolutely worth the time. So we might do this again at some point. We'll maybe do some other fun stuff while we get on this as well. It's really fun to do the Smack Attack. We'll have a great time. But on that note then, thank you, the viewers. Thanks for you for watching. It's been absolutely great having you around. I hope you stick around every time we do the show. Thank you, Mr. John Enright. It's been a pleasure as always. Always a pleasure, never a chore. I love it when we chat to you there. So thank you so much for spending your time, your Sunday morning with the Smack Attack. We'll be with you. Maybe not next week, maybe 2 weeks' time before we come back. But when we come back, we'll see you again for another edition of the Smack Attack. You take care of yourself and take care of each other. Cheery.